everybody, and welcome to our live stream. It's called A Green World is Possible. It's an online candidate forum, and I'm so pleased to be here with 12 amazing candidates right now that are running for office around the country. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to let them all introduce themselves to save time, and after they run through their introductions, we're going to have a little discussion about running for office as a Green in this country. All right, so first, going to start off with Nick. So, would you mind introducing yourself to everyone, Nick?
Yeah, hello. My name is Nick Rowley. I am running for County Commission in the 18th District of Oakland County in Michigan. I am a immigrant from the United Kingdom. I've been a U.S. citizen since 2009. I have worked on political campaigns on both sides of the Atlantic with about a 97% success rate on all of those. I am very left-wing, which is not what I find a lot of in the United States in the sort of mainstream, the two biggest parties. And I would like that to change, and therefore I am running with the Green Party because they are the most viable left-wing party that I can run with. I agree with the policies of said party. My main sort of existential goal in running is that we should have more left-leaning, people-focused political office holders, especially at the local level, because, all political change floats upwards, and it starts on the local level and then goes up from there. So I would like to bring more left-wing politics to the Oakland County Commission.
Hi, my name is Robin Leah Lorraine. That's how it will appear on the ballot. And I am running for the Michigan State University Board of Trustees. I'm being endorsed by the Green Party of Michigan and by the Socialist Party of Michigan and of the Socialist Party in the United States. This is the first time that this has ever been done for a candidate for Michigan State, and people wondered why I did that because, the socialists don't have a ballot line. And what my goal is to get a strong left alliance going in Michigan. And so that would be anything from left to Bernie, right? So in our party, we've had a lot of Bernie-crats come in and change over to the Green Party because they aren't happy about Mr. Biden. And I'm digressing here, but getting back to my candidacy, Michigan State has some issues that really need to be solved, and I plan on bringing the Green New Deal to Michigan State University. I'm a student there. I'm the co-chair of the Green Party of Michigan. I'm also on the national committee, so I'm very active in the Green Party. One of the things that I'd like to see happen at Michigan State is that the students be under an umbrella of safety. That's one of my main goals, and safety being free from disease, free from sexual predators, free from racism, and all the other things that we'll get into later on. But I'm really excited about being here, and thanks for inviting me.
Excellent. Yes, Jean-Michel Crevier from Holland, Michigan, running for United States Congress, Michigan District 2. Paga por la paz, deja de pagar por la guerra. Pay for peace, stop paying for war. I think when you're taking down a castle in a siege, you always keep hitting the same point until you get a crack, and then you go after it. And for me, that crack is Lake Michigan, the decimation of the EPA, and putting mercury and arsenic directly into our drinking water. Hopefully that's a good starting point to rally everyone around together and keep moving up from there.
Sure. Yeah. My name is Brandon Johnson. I'm running for the Tamalpais Union High School District Board of Trustees. So for the school board. And the reason why I'm running is because we've had, especially in the wake of George Floyd, we've had plenty of students come out with their stories, with their perspectives, saying that there's no place for them in the curriculum. Same thing with the LGBTQ plus community. And so I'm there and I'm running to make sure that we take a deep look at what we're teaching our students, decolonize the curriculum, diversify our staff. I live in a community that is vast majority, probably 90% white, mostly due to redlining. It's also ranked #1 in California in terms of the most inequitable in terms of wealth. So this is a community that has extraordinarily underserved children, folks that have been forgotten, folks whose voices have been slipping through the cracks. So I'm running to represent the students' voices who have not been represented before. There is no Black person on the board of trustees, and I'm running to expand that representation.
Sure. Yeah, I'm Michael Bagus Canning. I'm running for state representative in Pennsylvania, District 64. I live in the oil region of Pennsylvania. We've been timbered, drilled, stripped, fracked, and cracked. If everything goes according to plan, we'll be cracked, I should say. This is where the oil industry began. Drake's Well is in the northern part of the district. So I apologize to Brandon. We're probably a lot responsible for causing climate change and your fires. At one time, the transit building in downtown Oil City was where the price of oil was set for the entire world. But for the last 50 years, we've been hammered. We were hemorrhaging jobs and young people. We've lost not only our jobs and our kids, but we've also lost a lot of our earning power. We lag behind much of the state. We're poorer, we're more unemployed. We make less, and we work longer hours. The area is ripe for change, and that's what we're bringing with my campaign. We're running on jobs you can live on, government you can trust, water you can drink, and healthcare is a human right. There's no Democrat in this campaign. It's me and the incumbent Republican. We're running a serious campaign. We have a legitimate shot. We're running to win. We're not running to make a statement. We've assembled a crack campaign team, and we're running a very sophisticated campaign. We've already raised 3.5 times the amount of money that the Democrat had in both of his 2 previous races, and we're about $1,000 behind the incumbent Republicans. So we're running to win, and check us out, Mike at PA64.com.
Great, thank you so much. Let's go to Destiny.
Hi, I'm Destiny. I'm a disabled veteran. I've moved around a lot. I've gotten to live in a lot of different places in the States, all the way from Alaska to Alabama, which are 2 very different kinds of places. I only joined the Army because it was my only option. I grew up homeless in the Port Huron area of Michigan. Was straight up homeless and on my own at 16. So I joined the Army at 18. I want to try really hard to give our young people in this area other options to get out of their situations, better training, better education and really work towards defunding some of our prison systems and putting it towards mental health institutions. And that's a pretty good statement about me.
Thank you so much. Let me see, how is this thing working out again? So I'm going to jump to Craig.
Hi, James. Thanks for having me, and great to see everybody here. My name is Craig Cayetano. I am running for Hawthorne Town Council, Ward 3, once again. Regretfully, the incumbent that won had passed away, so we're having a special election this fall. And the reason why I decided to step up and run initially was 4 years prior, there was no challenger. It was literally just the incumbent running. So there was a void here, there needed to be a voice. So I felt that it was time to step up and run for office, and I figured town council is definitely a good way to go. I had gotten involved locally in my town's green team, environmental commission. I've helped out also and joined we have the Passaic County SPCA, so I'm a member there. I just figured it was the next logical step to move forward. And it's a Republican stronghold here in the local municipalities in this part of New Jersey, which some people might find a little shocking when they see a lot of the bigger offices in New Jersey are usually blue. But on local levels is where I feel the Greens really need to focus on and run. And I know we can start to chip away and literally offer a different perspective on issues. I joined the Green Party in 2016. I will admit I was dormant for a while during Obama's presidency, and I did get reinvigorated during Sanders' run. And when he had conceded, I knew then I was going to move over to the Green Party, use this as the vehicle for the progressive movement, and basically work and commit time to building the Green Party of New Jersey. In that, we've really jumped in membership. I remember at the end of 2017, we had under 3,000 registered Greens. Right now, we have over 10,600 registered Greens in New Jersey. And obviously, as things have started to fall in our state, a lot of the progressive movement that was trying to work inside that hasn't really cracked through is starting to see that that's an exhausting pathway. And I think that the Green Party can be the vehicle, and I'm just trying to lead by example. Thanks for having me.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go to William, please. Oh, wait. William's still here or no? Okay, I'm going to skip. Sorry. Madeline? You have to unmute.
Sure. Yes. Yes, I've unmuted. Thank you, James.
Awesome. Thank you.
I'm really happy to be here as well. I'm from New Jersey, as is Craig. So we've campaigned together and worked together on a lot of things. I'm running for U.S. Senate in New Jersey. I ran 2 years ago against Senator Menendez and came in third out of the highest vote getter of the alternative political parties. I got over 25,000 votes. And so encouraged by that, I decided to run again. I also, before that, I ran in 1996 with Ralph Nader. I was his vice presidential running mate in New Jersey. So it's been 20 plus years of, with a break in between, but more than 20 years being associated with the Greens. And I find it a really good place to campaign from, because I don't have to check what I want to say at the door. I don't take political action committee money, so I'm not getting money from the pharmaceutical industry like my opponent Cory Booker has. I'm not getting money from the pro-Israel lobby like my opponent Cory Booker has. I'm not beholden to the Democratic Party machine, which in New Jersey is extremely corrupt. I'm not beholden there, so I can speak about public education and not charter schools. And I'm really dedicated to ending wars and imperialism. Obviously, neither political party cares very much about those issues. Taking the money saved and putting it into education, healthcare, infrastructure, combating climate change and so much more. And as we defund the military, we can also defund the police. It's a very big issue in New Jersey, Black Lives Matter, and the need to not have the police be the highest, largest item in the budget for local municipalities. And so I'm going to be I've been working and campaigning on that, and just trying to be a voice for the movements that are already out there working. This is not a campaign about me as an individual, but a campaign to help build a strong movement across the state and country for the kinds of policies that we need, and the kinds of policies that neither the Democrats nor the Republicans actually care about.
Great, thank you so much. I'm going to go to Tom.
Tom Wilda, is this Tom?
Oh, yes, Tom Wilda,
Okay.
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Tom Wilda from Illinois. I'm running for Congress in the 5th District. That district is held now by Mike Quigley, and probably most famous because at one time Dan Rostenkowski represented this district, and another time Rahm Emanuel represented this district before he became mayor. Actually represented this district when he was appointed White House Chief of Staff under Obama. This is my first run. I've been with the Green Party for about 12, 13 years, attending meetings and so forth. I've been working for other candidates, worked very diligently for Jill Stein in both her runs. Did a lot of footwork, getting signatures and that sort of thing, going door to door. This is my first run for myself. We were lucky, I think, here in Illinois that we petitioned the courts for ballot access without having to get the incredible number of signatures that we would have to get without it. We were granted ballot access because that would have been unreasonable with the pandemic. So the pandemic in that way has helped us out a little bit. I'm a social worker, been a social worker all my life. I worked in Latin America for 7, 8 years, and go back to working in the sanctuary movement in the 1980s with the refugees coming up from El Salvador. But you know, I've got a website, tomforthefifth.com. It's got my platform there, and I'm definitely for Medicare for all and student debt forgiveness. If you visit me, you'll see it. One of the things that doesn't get mentioned very much that I've been very much involved in over the past few years has been monetary reform. And I was one of the founding members of a group called the Alliance for Just Money. Check out their website. So as you guys know, we get the Constitution's given us the right to create our own money, but we gave that up in 1913 to a very obscure system called the Federal Reserve System. That's where our debt comes from. We can't actually print our own money. We actually have to sell or get permission from the Fed to sell treasury bonds to very few banks that then buy the bonds and give us money. And they get that money out of nothing, make that money out of nothing. But that adds to our debt, and of course they expect interest to be paid with it. That is held over our heads all the time when we talk about where we're going to get money for a Green New Deal, for student debt forgiveness, for Medicare for all. We could go on and on. And it's totally false. It's totally a ruse. It's never covered in the media. So that's another one of my things that I've been, maybe that distinguishes me a little bit from a lot of other folks, is that I've been studying it and understand it, and definitely want to change it, and have got a plan to change it. And of course, the plan actually goes back to Dennis Kucinich, and He actually proposed it in 2011 out of the work of this organization. And it's, check it out, House Bill 2990 called the NEAT Act. And in a little 3 or 4 page bill, we have a recreation of our money where we can create money without debt. And we have enough money to really fund all our needs and all, give Americans the good stuff. So, so that's, I guess that's who I am, and I'll stop there. And I thank you for inviting me, and it's great being here with you all.
Oh, great. Glad to have you. Next, we're going to have Nicole Castor.
I'm unmuted. Hi, I'm Nicole Castor, and I'm running for City Council in Citrus Heights. I'm in California. I'm District 1 in Citrus Heights. So for the purposes of this Green Party Forum, I'll admit that the #1 reason why I am running is so that we have a green running in our county. And there is a very, very good chance that I can win this election. So, the odds are kind of in my favor. It's sort of a long story. I don't really want to get into negative campaigning, but I'll just say I have one opponent. He's not well liked. And I have a lot of people who have already, come to me wanting to donate. So I finally have my donation stuff up. I'm going to post it if there's any links or comment sections here. But basically, the atmosphere in Sacramento County right now is the Greens are, we're going to get an elected Green. So we're really excited. I don't want to say that and jinx it, but we have a very, very, very good chance. And I don't even care that it's me. It's not even about me. I just want a Green elected in my county. So we already, a lot of people have jumped in and volunteered. Everybody's really excited. The main thing, so it's nonpartisan, and I'm not focusing on party politics, and nobody is. And it's, in a weird way, it's kind of freeing. But the one big party-related issue that I'm very, very much pushing for is for solutions to homeless problems that we have in our community. We in our city, we don't have one single shelter. Not that I am a huge advocate of shelters, because I know that a lot of people do not want to go into shelter, but there's also no sanitation, no services to camps that are set up in different areas around town. And I want to address that because the city council ignores it. And I think it's time. And I want to start addressing, I already have addressed it during my campaign, and move forward, hopefully get elected and actually do something about it. It's an emergency, especially with COVID, but even without COVID. Before COVID, it's a situation where trash is piling up. There are needles everywhere. We need needle collections. We need trash facilities. We need water and toilets for people so that they can live in dignity, so that they can be self-determined in what they want to do for their solutions. But then after COVID, the gyms are closed. People don't have showers. The drinking fountains are closed in the grocery stores. You can't just walk up to a fountain right now. There are none. So the people, I heard, word on the street is the women are going behind a car wash and sort of showering in the mist that sprays off of the car wash. So these are things that are like, yeah, this is an emergency, and I'm bringing it up and putting pressure, and that's the #1 issue. But there's several other issues, and I don't want to take up too much time, and maybe we can get into it later. But that's the basis, and the real basis is we could get a Green elected to our county.
Yeah.
And thank you for having me here.
Oh, please, that would be a great thing to get you elected. Love
Totally.
That. I'm gonna go to J. Ting Walker.
All right. Hi.
Hey there.
Guess so. You guys pinning channels. Hi everyone. I'm J. Ting Walker. I'm a community organizer for an environmental nonprofit here in Pittsburgh. I am running for Pennsylvania House because our state has been just completely demolished by the fracking industry. Not only are they poisoning our air and our water, kids are getting cancer just outside Pittsburgh. Like there's a string of rare cancers, but it's also kind of damning our future for young people like me. Climate change is just being made worse and worse by our continued fracking, and we seem to want to just frack more and more, and it's basically completely unacceptable. So I'm running to put a stop to that practice. For a long time, there was no one in our Pennsylvania House who spoke up against fracking, because the fracking industry, they're really smart. They donated to both sides. So the Democrats and Republicans kind of bicker over how much fracking should be taxed. And for a long time, nobody was talking about the fact that it needs to be banned for like 5 different reasons. So that conversation is starting to change, and I'm looking to add to that chorus. I'm tired of being lied to that this gas is needed to keep our energy or heating bills low, because we know that it's all being shipped across the state to be exported to Europe to be turned into plastic. And now they're trying to build this plastics factory outside Pittsburgh so they can poison us locally. But we all know we need a Green New Deal. We need to stop subsidizing the fracking industry. We need to ban the practice in Pennsylvania. We need to immediately stop drilling new wells, phase out all of our old wells as soon as possible. And we can't wait anymore. We saw the recent climate studies saying that we have 10 years left to address climate change. Everyone has been talking about fracking and being a bridge fuel for 20 years. We need to blow up the bridge, basically. But my district is interesting. There's a couple universities. There's 3 universities, actually. So there's a lot of young people. And it's also the heart of the anti-fracking movement in Pennsylvania. So it's completely unacceptable that we're represented by someone who's not for banning fracking. So that's going to change whether I win my election or whether my opponent kind of scurries back around and fixes his stance on the issue. But yeah, we're looking to engage a lot of the students in the district. And we realize the status quo is not acceptable on a variety of issues. The Greens know developer Democrats are dominating cities across the country with their neoliberal economic policies. They're working for some people, a few people, predominantly white people, not working for working class brown people anywhere across the country. And that needs to stop all across the country as soon as possible. So my campaign is also talking about housing issues, police brutality, equitable tax policy, and transit funding. Our transit funding legislation is about to run out, and we need a new plan. And the only people making a new plan are the Republicans, and the plan is obviously terrible. But our state legislature, they have a pattern of waiting till the last second to address any of our problems, and it leaves us with the crappiest options always. And we need to start being a little bit more proactive. And right now we need to be dealing with the problems that are coming for decades down the line, and we can't deal with them as they come up one at a time. So that's why I'm running. Jayton Walker, I'm running for the 23rd District in Pennsylvania House. And thanks for having me.
Great. Thanks for being here. Let's go to Carolyn, please. Oh, wait a minute. I'm so sorry. Stephen.
Breedlove?
Yep, Stephen Breedlove. Sorry about that.
Well, thank you for having me, and lovely to share the space with all of you. Nicole and I are Cali Green, so we hang out at conventions and stuff. Anyway, I'm Steve Breedlove. I'm a veteran, a gardener, a father, a community organizer with degrees in history and political science. I'm running for Chico City Council District 3 because I'm also tired of the inaction. I'm also tired of the trash and the needles and the inhumane violations of homeless human rights. My campaign is structured around my Real Solution series. That's what I'm calling it. So it's 6 weeks of my 6 primary platform planks. We just are wrapping up rebuilding a local economy. Next week, we're doing secure and affordable housing, then homelessness and addiction, then my lean, people-centered budget, habitable future, and finish off with safe communities, because ultimately all of these things encompass genuine safety, genuine democracy, and dignity of living. You can check out my website, breedloveforchico.com, and volunteer remotely. We'll have our phone and text banking up shortly. And then you can also donate there, which I'd appreciate. We also live, California is generally seen as some liberal bastion. I live deep, deep, deep in Trump country. And I think that I have a good chance of winning. We're running a lean grassroots campaign, and sorry about that. I set a timer for myself. We're running a lean grassroots campaign. Got lots of people out walking. We're not door knocking because of COVID, but other than that, we have a good chance to win. Everybody's sick of the incumbent. She's been there 16 years. The other individual running is QAnon conspiracist. So we're just gonna bust our butts and get it done. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. And we successfully made it through round one. I didn't think we'd be able to do it, but it's awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up a bit, and let's actually, taking off from where you just left off as far as campaigning during COVID. Because as Greens, we don't, like we said before, we don't take corporate money, we don't take PAC money. How the heck are you guys campaigning during COVID without being able to go out and talk to all your potential voters? And feel free to, yeah, raise your hand. Perfect. Thank you so much, Craig. So Craig, you start first.
Thanks, James. Great question. So last year when I was crafting the campaign, from everything like the palm cards to the business cards, I wanted to find a way to make sure that we can reuse the materials. Again, I wasn't supposed to run this year. It was supposed to be for next year for at large for the whole town because it's a ward race. So I figured I'd move the materials around and make sure I can either cut off certain things that aren't pertaining I can still reuse. And that's helped us so far. I've got a lot of stuff I can just reuse. Even if I need it again, I could always cover it up easily. As for campaigning now, I had to go door to door. So to collect signatures, we created a barcode. It's kind of hard to see, but I'm going to move my computer here. But down over there, you could see there's this barcode that New Jersey allowed us to do. So we were able to collect some signatures via online, utilizing that and keep it contactless, or touchless, signature gathering. But at the end of the day, we still had to go out and grind and grab signatures door to door. Carried pens, extra pens, and just kind of, gloves, masks, doing that. Now I'm just lightly fundraising, putting out little blasts on Fridays to ask for small donations. But last year was great. I mean, you just find catchy little things. You say, hey, look, $7 will get me 25 business cards. What can you help me contribute? If you put a little photo out, something catchy, people can connect it, and it doesn't have to be about getting big donations because we're Greens. We don't want big donations. And I'm adamant about that. So I think if you keep it light and fresh and at least connect to what your money's going to, I think people are willing to donate $5, $7, $12, $30 here and there, and that'll help boost the campaigns.
Great. Next, I'll go to Robin, please.
Hi, so in Michigan, we started something new this year. In 2018, I ran for the House of Representatives in the 68th District. And this year, I'm running for Michigan State University Board of Trustees. And so this year, we're doing a thing called Michigan Greens United. So we're all trying to run together, help each other in every way we can. And of course, we have our own individual campaigns, but we're also trying to do things that benefit our whole candidate slate, which is, we did have 29 candidates, but one had to drop out because she moved. And so we're now, not counting Howie and Angela, we're down to 28. And so one of the things that I did is, and I ran it through my campaign, I put out a print ad that had our website. And I said, please support, I said something like, hello, my name is Robin Leah Lorraine. I'm running for blah, blah, blah. Check out the Michigan Green candidates. And then I put the webpage. And so people will go there and it'll take them right to the candidate site. So if people donate on the website, that money is going to be divided and given to the candidates. And then you can also, of course, donate directly to the candidates. So that's one of the things that we're doing. We're using our website to get the word out. Also, you know, your typical things. Michigan can't meet in groups larger than 10. So we had a nominating convention this year, and we had 5 county caucuses. So it was a lot. It was really a lot for our elections coordinator and our elections committee. So we are doing hybrid meetings where it's Zoom and meeting around the state, but we're trying to be very respectful of people's fear of COVID. So a lot of the stuff we're doing is online, and we're doing a lot of these interviews and radio shows. And if somebody hears about something, we pass it along. And we're also doing where our bigger counties like Oakland County and Wayne County and Macomb County, there's actually mentors in those counties who have been candidates many times who are helping the younger candidates. For instance, in Oakland County, Sherry Wells, she's been a candidate many times. She's helping the newer candidates like Destiny and Nicholas. Are you from Oakland? I think you're from Oakland too, yeah. So he's part of, and Sherry calls it a farm team. And then here in Ingham County, I haven't ran many times before, but I have a real good idea of what elections look like. I'm in mid-Michigan, so we have a really good system this year. The Green Party of Michigan has never ever campaigned like this before, and it's pretty exciting. We have 83 counties in the state, and our state borders on several other states. We're huge. And, you know, we don't take PAC money, and we don't take corporate money, just like every other green. So we're really asking people to donate $1. If 2,000 people donated $1, that would be great, you know. Whatever you can, donate. Go to www.michigangreenparty.org. You can go to our candidates. If you don't want to donate to everyone, you can go there and you'll see Nick there. You can go to Nick, just click on his picture and it'll take you to his stuff. Go to Destiny, click on her. And that's basically how we're doing it. We're just taking it a day at a time. And I call this the Corona class of 2020 because no one's ever done this before. And so we're making the mousetrap. And that's all I got.
That's awesome. All right. Going to Michael Batches.
Yeah, so I guess first I want to give a shout out to my fellow Pennsylvanian, Jay Walker. It has done a lot to help my campaign early on. He mobilized a lot of the Allegheny County Greens. I live in a rural part of Pennsylvania, and Jay brought up a bunch of Pittsburghers to help out with things like petitioning. He also put me in touch with 2 very sophisticated young men who are running the campaign. Really, really great kids. Another thing that for campaigning, my background is a grassroots organizer, frontline fracking, anti-fracking group. So I've been able to tap into a lot of those folks. We also are hitting up farmers markets and that kind of stuff. Another big thing for us right now is that the local Democrats, there's 2 counties in my district, and both local Democratic parties have, I won't say they've endorsed us, but they have embraced us, and they're inviting us to some of their events, so we're able to talk to them, their voters. And then the final thing is we have a great website, mike4pa64.com. So please visit. Check.
Love it. All right, and we're going to go to Madeline, please.
Okay, so one of the things we've been using a lot of is live streams. We do a meet and greet every Tuesday. Unfortunately, sometimes my video quality isn't the best, but we have developed a following with that. We invite various guests from different local situations, like the Newark Water Coalition, concerned about water quality in Newark, the lead in the water, and has been very active in bringing national attention to that issue. We've had immigrants' rights people come on to talk about closing down the ICE detention centers especially during the time of COVID, because the prisons and the detention centers are hotbeds for COVID-19 and the spread of the virus. We've had people come on from Black Lives Matter. I have John Mubaraka is coming on this coming Tuesday because signed a pledge, the Black Alliance for Peace pledge. And so he's coming on to talk about the pledge. That's something that people asked me to do or suggested that I do 2 years ago, and I didn't really know how to do it, and it didn't feel like it didn't seem to be necessary, but it is necessary now to communicate to people via Zoom meetings, by live stream. And we also are going to be having an online fundraiser. We're going to see how this works, where a local artist is donating a mosaic that she made related to Black Lives Matter. And we have various artists, musicians coming on to donate of their time. And we'll see for about a 3-hour period with speakers and musicians, see how much money we're able to raise that way. And then we're doing this tomorrow, actually. We're taking the lawn signs that I had some left over from 2 years ago, and we're ordering more. And taking those lawn signs and going to important landmarks or locations throughout the state with a Hoffman for Senate sign and a Hawkins Walker sign for President and Vice President. And we're doing stop by stop. I'm doing a tri-county tour tomorrow, Camden County, Cumberland County, and Atlantic County in New Jersey. And with those photos, put them on social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so on. So kind of trying to be creative with the time and the space and rely much more heavily on social media and the internet. But it's been a challenge. I think we have really reached out to many people through that vehicle that we wouldn't have otherwise.
Great, thank you for that. Stephen Breedlove?
Yeah, thanks. So real quick, we kind of are doing it a little differently. So first of all, we've invested in some digital tools. A tool called Reach was developed for the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez campaign in 2018. That allows volunteers to put their link, basically their social media, emails, phones, and all that stuff, and then the computer cross-checks it with the voter roll so that we now have a personal connection. Oh, I am friends with so-and-so, and you are also friends with so-and-so. And they call it kind of digital door knocking or digital canvassing. And that's actually not that expensive. I'm running a lean campaign, so I wouldn't spend money on things I don't think I could. We're also doing classical text banking. Any of you that don't have a tool set up, Scale to Win is very inexpensive. So check them out. And then also I'm a member of the DSA as well as the Greens. And I expect to get their endorsement. I just finished up their questionnaire. And then through the national DSA, I'll have access to Van. And so we're mostly doing door hangers just so we have a presence in neighborhoods, and we are getting good responses from that. And it's allowing us to identify who has signs up like Black Lives Matter or other kind of signs that indicate that they share our political philosophy. And that allows us to kind of target direct outreach. And then I'm also doing a lot of live streaming like the person from New Jersey. On Mondays, I do Take Back the Power Hour, which is a policy-focused hour. I'm bringing in community organizers and nonprofit leaders and stuff to talk about policy issues specifically according to my Real Solutions schedule. I'm also doing a garden side chat for a half hour on Wednesday afternoons, which is more like telling constituents like where my ideas come from, kind of like some of the thinkers that I borrow ideas from and how I think. And then Beers with Breedlove I do every Friday night, which is more like an Ask Me Anything hangout hour. And so I really appreciate you putting this together, James, and thank you for sharing the space with me all. But I'm going to quietly leave so I can prepare for that event. Much love.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining the broadcast. It was really nice meeting you. And it was before you leave, was there anybody else that wanted to talk about campaigning during COVID? Okay, cool.
I'll say a few words if it's okay.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, so Tom Wilden in Illinois, we've been doing mostly social media. I've been going also to virtual meetings, basically of different local politicians. Local politicians have aldermen, committeemen, and that kind of thing, and just participating in them, throwing out ideas, letting people know who I am. And we've been doing also some live stream stuff, interviews on YouTube and that sort of thing for small cable outlets and small outlets in Illinois. So yeah, that's where we've been going. We haven't raised very much money, so we're doing this on a real shoestring, and I've got 2 or 3 people helping me that have been really great. But I also have had a little bit of a hard time finding real strong campaign support or people I can sort of talk to and use within the state party. And I think that's attributable to how small we are and how much we still have to grow.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. I know it's not an easy thing. Hopefully with this broadcast, in the description of the broadcast, there's a link that takes people to the gp.org site and also the GP election site. So hopefully after the broadcast, people will look up your names. That's why I'm trying to put them on the bottom of the screen, and get involved with your campaigns, either as donors or volunteers. I'm going to move on to the next question, if that's okay with you all. One of the things I wanted to ask you is, as Green Party candidates, while it seems like the whole country is focused on Trump, and Trump is the reason that the country is the way it is today. Like, just, last 4 years, everything just got progressively worse, just out of nowhere. Just trying to figure out, you're all running for local campaigns. And one of my biggest debates with people as far as why the Green Party exists, it's like, we're an answer against or an alternative to the Democrats and Republicans, which we all is really much one party that's all, embedded to corporate interests. But then I get challenged on things like, well, I'd vote for Greens, but they don't win congressional or Senate offices, right? And I'm like, well, last year you told us we should focus on local races, and we're running the local races. So now you're saying, no, we should be running Senate and congressional ones. And then we run Senate, congressional, and presidential ones. You said, why don't you focus on local races? So anyway, no matter what I'm getting to is, no matter what, there's always some answer on why Greens shouldn't run for office. But they're just fine with having Democrats and Republicans play their game. So I'm just trying to go around once again and see who would want to talk about maybe some reason why people should vote for you as a Green. All right, Craig is first with his hand up.
So I get this a lot too, and I'm also co-chair of Green Party of New Jersey. So there's national issues, national politics, national policies that a lot of us will probably agree with on 95% of them. But if we're talking our local states, our local counties, our local municipalities, it's a totally different way to frame the party and to talk about issues. Me, I don't have a family, so I don't have that in the community as a parent. So I don't have that whole vibe with all the parents. I'm not a coach, so I don't have that coach in like some people do. Me, I have my full-time job. I participate, like I said, in the Green Team Environmental Commission. That's me. So that's always been me. So I figured I'm going to dedicate my time there and to, like I said, the SPCA. So you need to find a way to get yourself in the community, but in a way that you can easily connect and you can make your name start to resound. I think we take away from the national craziness and we just focus on local people and your neighbors. And honestly, all the divisiveness. I try to stay away from it on local level. There's times, obviously, we get dragged into some stuff and this, that, and everything. But if we look on local levels and we just focus on the issues in our town that we can immediately correct and change, I think we can connect on a better level that way. In New Jersey, like the big thing right now is, well, I have friends that are hopefully watching on the stream. They're going to support me for my local race, but still are hesitant to support the green ticket in terms of possibly Madeline or possibly even Howie and Angela. So it's going to take time. It's going to take, I think, more cycles to get through and break through. But as we run, as we're the example on local and state, you start to see people run and they say, hey, oh, there's that Green Party again. They're running again. Okay, good. It wakes people up. It gets people energized and invigorated. And I think that'll then take that fear away and that kind of like, should I give my vote to them? Have they really earned it? And we are here. We're doing our best we can locally. I just tell people not to get too into the national politics and just work on a one-to-one level on the issues that you can connect with your neighbor.
Great. Thank you so much for that answer. I'm going to go to Madeline next.
Yeah, I have a slightly different answer from Craig because I am running at the statewide level and I'm running for a federal office. And, you know, Craig has actually done a lot of research to show how New Jersey almost, you know, always on a statewide level will vote blue. And so, you know, our goal is to try to help support the Greens getting 5% of the vote nationally. That's Howie Hawkins' campaign, Howie Hawkins, Angela Walker campaign. For my campaign, I really feel that since there's 2 years ago, there were other third parties involved, like the Libertarians. This year, I'm really the only organized third party that's running. So I feel a responsibility to talk about how during this time period, we need to vote for the people who are running on the issues that matter to us. And simply just give in to the fear. And in New Jersey, as I said before, that fear isn't that large because the state goes blue all the time. So, and then we are also pushing for ranked choice voting as a way out. Lisa Savage in Maine has a unique opportunity because she's running on ranked choice voting. She's running in a state that has ranked choice voting. So it's important, and I think some people have even, some of the progressive Democrats have endorsed me after they ran in the primaries, and they realized that the state Democratic Party or the Democratic machine is corrupt, and they came out to support me. And there was one woman in particular who said something that I'll never forget. She said, "You're an inspiration to me because you continue to act politically, be involved politically without losing your principles, without losing the ideals that you stand for." And I'm taking that to heart. Because I think especially in these COVID times, people may see things that they didn't see a year ago or 2 years ago about how the whole system is failing us in so many ways. And for more information about that, I think I'll mention my website now. It's hoffmanforsenate.com. You can check out my platform, and I feel like I have nothing to lose. And then I'm going to speak the truth about what's going on and why it's important to vote policy and values over party in 2020. Thank you.
No, thank you so much for that. Yeah, and like I said, you have nothing to lose. Speaking truth to power is so important to run when you're running as a Green.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to Jay Ting next. Jay,
Hi.
Okay.
Yeah. So in terms of, talking about Trump and being concerned about the Republican Party in general, Pittsburgh, like almost every city in the United States, there is basically no Republican Party. So it's a two-way race. So that helps a lot with that conversation. We just, you know, we don't have to try to convince them that we don't have to convince them that we can win in addition to convincing them to prefer me or the Green Party. So that helps. Another thing is that in Pennsylvania, the Democratic Party is just so bought by the fracking industry that the distinction becomes so clear. If you're anti-fracking, you have to support the Green Party. It's the only party that's anti-fracking in Pennsylvania. And that's true of so many issues, Medicare for all. I mean, we see that across the country as well. So I think that makes that conversation pretty straightforward. It's like, look, are you against fracking? Because if you're against fracking, you're not going to get a lot of support from the Democratic Party. If you're for Medicare for all, you're not going to get a lot of support from the Democratic Party. It's just true on so many issues. I mean, they just voted to not include legalizing marijuana in the platform. It's unreal. I like cannot believe it. They're shooting themselves in the foot. I'm not sure what the Democratic Party is doing, but it makes it a pretty simple conversation. The only challenge, I guess, is people's fear about splitting the vote. And we're lucky, not only in my race, but also in Michael's race, to not have to talk about that. And I guess I also wanted to mention that two of, I think, the strongest campaigns in the country right now are Jake Tonko for San Jose City Council and Franca Muller-Paz for Baltimore City Council. And they also have similar dynamics where it's a two-way race. It's, you know, they don't have to convince people that other people are going to vote for you too. And, you know, similar situation, Democratic machine controlled cities that have been, you know, abandoned, basically. Democrats are sleeping on the job. So I think that's where we can start changing the conversation, you know, as opposed to always talking about whether we can win. It's like, it's clear that the people that were the incumbents are flawed, right? This party that holds control here has lots of problems. I know that's true in New Jersey and a lot of places too. Like, there's just rank corruption in the Democratic Party in these urban areas. And everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. So it definitely helps with that conversation.
Great. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to Destiny now.
Hello. I have had this conversation with a lot of people, and I did have that advantage of being in very red states and very blue states, and I can tell you the homeless people are just as miserable in both of them. It's neither side is doing what they need to, and for us to continue to pretend like they are is doing nothing but hurt us. We can use the fear of, oh, we can't vote third party because that'll split the vote, but then it's just always going to leave these people in power, and they've had plenty of time to show that they are going to do something. So until they can start showing that they're going to do something, I think it's time everyone votes third party. I think we stop giving our vote to parties that haven't earned them.
Great. No, thank you so much for that. I'm going to move on to Nicholas.
Generally, I go by Nick.
Okay, good.
And in fact, if you look up my name, it'll be Nick Rowley for County Commission. Yeah, no, I mean, we have a party that, in the case of the Democrats, have a fantastic talent for snatching defeat out of the jaws of victory. And that's a real problem, because every time what will happen is they will play it safe, but that playing it safe means that they become a watered down version of the Republicans, and most people will vote for, you know, the real thing rather than the light version. I don't know that that's likely to happen in the presidential election this time. Who knows? I mean, we have someone who suggested injecting bleach to ward off a once in several generations viral epidemic, running against someone who picked a cop. as his running mate in a time where police brutality and systemic racism in the police is a major issue. So yeah, some really fascinating choices, and then should things not work out, those who were playing it safe will absolutely turn around and blame anyone but themselves for those choices. So yeah, this is why, though, I have been telling people I understand how if you are considering the president, you may feel that you have to vote Democrat. I understand how that game works. However, everyone else in the on the ballot, that vote does not affect who gets votes for the president, and ultimately, that's where the most effective things happen is on the local level. So I'm very much encouraging people to vote Green in all of their local races, because otherwise we will just continue to drift rightwards until, we have like a choice between someone who, is to the right of Vlad Tepes. It's vote Democrat because the Republican candidate wants to, impale people on spears. Vote for the Democratic candidate in 2024. He doesn't want to put people on spears. He wants to put people on garden hose. That's the sort of progression that we seem to be going on there. But we need to bring everything more leftward again. I realize that the concept of the Overton window was brought, weirdly, from Michigan, actually, from the Mackinac Center, which is a right-wing think tank in Michigan. But it's a fairly useful reference point. The idea that American politics is drifting ever rightwards, we really need to drag that back. And the best way to drag that back is in local races and an upswing of left-wing candidates who bring policies that are actually left-wing to the fore.
Great, thank you so much for that. So I'm looking at the time. We're going to go till 10. So what I'd like to do at this point, I had, your opening statements, did a couple of questions. Let's go into, I can't believe the time's gone so quickly. Let's go into closing statements, but feel free to be a little bit more loose in them. Like, this is going to be your pitch to people to really vote for you, to let them know about your websites. What's the most important issue or item that's so important for you to get elected, and what you plan to do. Does that sound okay with you guys? All right, cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in reverse order that we did the intros, if that's all right. So Stephen Breedlove, you'd be first.
Okay, hi. Thanks. I decided to multitask and stay on the call because I'm really inspired by what I see everybody else doing. Definitely feel I'm in good company, and this bodes well for our national political system. My closing pitch, anybody watching, check out my website, check out my priorities. They're municipally focused. Yeah, you can start my video. It's just,
okay, there you go.
You're just going to see my backyard, and I guess it actually looks pretty good. At any rate, check out my website, www.breedloveforchico.com. Send me a donation if you want to sign up to volunteer, or just email me some kind words to encourage me. That's fine as well. Steve@breedloveforchico.com. We're going to fight like hell because we don't have a choice. As someone said, scientists say we have less than 10 years. It's yeah, it's a dire situation, and I'm tired of inaction, and that's why I'm running. So thanks so much.
Great. Thank you so much for that. All right, so we're going to go to, sorry. I'm same thing here. I'm multitasking. I'm going to go to J. Ting Walker, please.
Hello. Am I on? I'm J. Ting Walker, and I'm running for Pennsylvania District 23 in the East End of Pittsburgh. My pitch is, if you want to ban fracking in Pennsylvania, if you're tired of the status quo, if you want to see a Green New Deal, want to combat climate change, address inequality, you should vote for me in the general election this November. And I hope to be able to speak to all the voters in my district. And my website is jtingwalker.com. That's JAYTINGWALKER.com. And I'm also at jtingwalker on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Thanks for having me on.
All right, great. Thank you so much. I'm going to go to Nicole next. Nicole Castor.
There it goes. Hi, again, I'm Nicole Castor, and I'm running for City Council in Citrus Heights, and that is in District 1. And so I kind of wanted to go back to what you were saying before a little bit, because that is the main reason and purpose for me running, besides having a Green running in our county and having the possibility of an elected Green. Local office is where it's at. We're decentralized. In this race, we're not focusing on party politics, but there are so many values that people have that they don't even realize are Green values, or just, good values in general, that they don't necessarily associate with our party. So they don't have to know that I'm Green. They might look on my Facebook and see who I'm supporting for president. I do get a little bit nervous about that, to see how people react, but I don't care too much about that type of stuff. I think that while people are very focused on federal elections, they really should look local, because the local government affects your quality of life. The first and foremost thing is the primary effect on your environment, on your day-to-day living, is your local environment, and your local government has a lot to do with that. And that's why I'm running. And from you guys and all the other Greens out there, I am going around and I'm asking people to reach in their pockets and take those pockets inside out, dump out everything that's in there, and send it to me so that we can get a Green elected. My website is Castor, CASTOR, the number 4, citycouncil.org. So Castor 4, citycouncil.org. And please go and visit there. The donation site is on there. And again, I want to thank you again for hosting me and everybody else. And I'll talk to you guys later.
Right. Great. Thank you so much. Madeline Hoffman, please.
I'm glad, very glad to have participated in this forum. I want to say that one of the reasons that I'm running, two of the reasons I'm running, are my longtime activism on the issue of environmental justice and freedom, and combating toxic chemical pollution in New Jersey, and also my longtime activism for peace and justice. Both of those issues combine to create a really strong Green New Deal. And as we all know, Howie Hawkins was our presidential candidate, was the original architect of the eco-socialist Green New Deal. The only way we're going to get a Green New Deal that works is to confront the military-industrial complex. And as we know, both the Democrats and Republicans are very much tied in, entangled with the military-industrial complex. My goal is to double the amount of votes I got in 2018, and I think it's possible. One of the reasons I think it's possible is that we have a strong Yes Caucus, Young Eco-Socialist Caucus, and I want to stay strong and principled, in large part for the youth, in large part so that they know that there is another option besides the Democrats and Republicans, because they are not tied to either of those parties in this Yes Caucus. They're very strong and revolutionary as well. So I would ask that people, and then the other thing is, I'm going to be issuing a couple of official campaign videos, one in English and one in Spanish. Actually had a chance to speak a little Spanish on this, to reach out to the community of Latin Americans in New Jersey. I got an endorsement from the National Latinx Office, because we really need to bring people who are traditionally left out of our political process right smack in the middle of it. So I would ask that people go to my website, hoffmanforsenate.com. If you want to volunteer, it's hoffmanforsenate.com/volunteer. And if you want to donate, like Nicole is suggesting, you can go to hoffmanforsenate.com/donate. We need money for those lawn signs and we want a lawn sign every place in New Jersey, because that's going to be the strongest way of gaining visibility during these very unusual times for campaigning for us all. Thank you very much for the opportunity, James, and I enjoyed sharing the time with all of you.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you everyone for joining. And I have to throw out some early apologies, because as you can see, I'm sort of multitasking, so I'm trying to host and do some titles. So on some of your titles at the bottom, I had the wrong name, so I apologize in advance. But I'll fix that in editing and send you over clips from this broadcast. So, and also in trying to multitask, I skipped Tom Wilda, and so Tom, would you like to go?
Oh, sure. This is Tom Wilda. I'm running in the Green Party for 5th Congressional District. Let me tell you that over the past 40 years, one party has espoused neoliberal policies, while the other has espoused neo-fascist policies. And since that time, we've witnessed very spectacular failures in this country. We're in 7 wars. You never hear about them. We have over 40 million of our citizens with no or inadequate health care. No other industrialized country in the world has let that happen. Many Americans cannot afford a $500 emergency in spite of working 40 hours a week. Young people are saddled with debt and the prospects of poor jobs for 20 or 30 years. Last year, 1 of 4 contemplated suicide. We are in an ecological crisis that cannot wait. Melting glaciers, thawing tundras, oceans filled with plastic, oceans rising, hurricanes stronger. We can go on and on and on about that. We have seen industrialization and terrible trade agreements, loss of good jobs. And now the country is unable to supply medical equipment during the pandemic. The mess that this is, the 2 parties that have been in power for the past 80 years have gotten us into, and they will not get us out. Here's what we could do. Medicare for all, 100% payment. It would actually be cheaper than our present system. Student debt forgiveness and free education from preschool to graduate school, including training programs. Universal income of $3,000 a month for every adult citizen. This would allow us to eliminate all these means-tested programs that people are tested out of. End the wars. Presently, we are in Afghanistan, Iraq, Somalia, Libya, Uganda, Syria, and Yemen. Why? Even the military doesn't know. Time to bring our troops home, save a lot of money, invest in Americans, enhance Social Security so seniors don't have to choose between their medicine and food. Green New Deal. The Army Corps of Engineers estimated that the U.S. is $3 trillion behind in maintaining and modernizing its infrastructure. We can create good paying jobs and improve our infrastructure, take care of our environment. We need to demilitarize the police, create a foreign policy that's just immigration policy. We need to change the way our money is created through a process of monetary reform, which I'll explain on my website. So please visit that website and give me your vote. Check out tomforthefifth.com.
Great, thank you so much for that. Sorry, please excuse my multitasking. Craig, you're next.
Thanks, James. Thanks, everyone. I'm in this race to take my town into the future and propel. Like Nicole had said, local politics is where Greens can really make an impact, give voters that might not feel like there's a voice for them. And sadly, in our town, there's one elected Democrat and it's a Republican council and Republican mayor, and they just literally kick the can down the curb and they don't deal with anything on local levels. So me coming in totally changes the whole optics of the town. If I can win, it helps next year with me fielding a slate where I can even have 2 or 3 other council candidates and even potentially a candidate for mayor. And we can totally take this town over, kind of like what happened in Waterford a few years ago in Connecticut. How you had this whole tidal wave and change and influence. So I'm in this to grow the party, partly because of another mentor I mentioned in the chat. Madeline's a mentor, and I respect all her work, but also Bruce Dixon, the late Bruce Dixon. I had a chance to converse with him a few times, obviously, before his untimely passing. And, you know, he gave me the advice to step up and work towards the change I want to try to instill. And I stepped up for leadership in the state party. And I also decided I'm going to step up and run for council because, again, this can be the change in New Jersey we need. Between Madeline's campaign and her achieving hopefully double or even triple the votes where she was last time, hopefully Howie can do well and Angela can do well as on that end. But me, I can carry the weight on a local race, and that'll just resound through Passaic County in North Jersey. So you can check me out at Cayetano, CAYETANO 4, council.com, on Facebook, Cayetano for Council, Instagram as well, and Twitter, I'm at Green 4 Ward 3. Thanks so much. Take care, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much. Destiny, please.
Hi, I'm Destiny. I'm running for County Commissioner in District 17 in Michigan. I want you to vote for me so we can defund the police and start working towards actually helping our fellow citizens. I really believe that Michigan's destiny is green, and we really need to start working towards it. We need people who are going to listen to what the people are saying and figure out ways to actually help them instead of platitudes that do nothing. We need pragmatic people in actually accomplishing things. And I am so excited about all of the Michigan Greens we have this year. And so if you do want to donate to me or any of us, please go to the MichiganGreenParty.org and you can look us all up. And thanks for having me. I really had a lot of fun tonight, and I hope you guys have a great evening.
Great. Thank you so much. We'd love having you as well. Michael, you're next.
Hey, well, I want to preface this by saying I'm already an elected Green. I've been elected since 1989, so we know it can happen.
Yep.
And I'm running for PA 64, and that's my website is Mike4, F-O-R, PA 64, the numbers.com. We're running on jobs you can live on, government you can trust, water you can drink, healthcare is a human right, and civil liberties expanded and protected. And my goal is to win. Check.
I like that. It's like a little mic drop moment there. Then what's important is, like you said before, you've won. So, you know, it's not like that classic argument, well, Greens can't win. It's like, no, Greens can win if you vote for them. It's a very simple math problem. Let's see. Brandon, over to you next.
Hey, I just wanted to thank you, James, for having all of us. And again, Brandon Johnson for Tamalpais Unified High School District Board of Trustees. My website is www.brandon4FOR.tamdistrict.com. You can donate and volunteer there. And for everyone who is listening here, every single one of these faces that you see needs you to donate, need you to take that money out of your pockets. They need you to volunteer, okay? If you do it remotely, that's fine. They need your voices. Okay, they need everything that you have. Okay, what they don't want is for you to just like their posts without actually stepping into the arena. Okay, you can't just be a spectator here. We need all of you. Okay, so make sure that take that extra step. If you're listening and you like what these people have said, please go and take that next step and really get behind them. Okay, we need all of you. That second thing that I'll say is, once again, vote for me if you want the schools to be properly funded. The parcel tax is on the ballot. It's 17% of our budget. Okay, we don't want to be laying off teachers. We don't want to be cutting programs where students thrive at this moment, especially. Make sure that, again, if you want the curriculum to be decolonized, we have an educational system where when you talk about what is classic literature, that term is reserved strictly for pretty much white authors. We talk about J.D. Salinger, we talk about Steinbeck, okay, Mark Twain, okay? It leaves out marginalized voices. When we talk about fine art, what do we think of? It's mostly folks of European descent. We're thinking about Monet, we're thinking about Da Vinci. Okay, when we think about philosophers, apparently they only lived in places like Greece, right? Socrates and Plato and folks like that. Apparently, folks in Africa and indigenous folks to the world aren't valuable knowledge creators and producers, okay? Again, students feel like within our system, the male-female binary is embedded, right? And so their identities aren't showing up. There's no space for them. Same thing with LGBTQ, okay? So everything needs to be looked at, and I'm committed to that, okay? So once again, Brandon for tamdistrict.com, and please go to every single one of these folks' websites and check out the issues. You will like them. I remember real quick being in 7th grade. I remember this for the rest of my life. We did the Pepsi, our teacher did the Pepsi challenge with the Green Party, Democrats, and Republicans, and just said, take the names off, look at the platforms, look at what they're for, period. And there's about 25 students, probably 23 out of the 25 came out with green. If you're for the environment, if you're for anti-war, if you're for social justice, don't vote on fear, vote on what you're for, and look at what these folks are for, and I guarantee you that you'll agree with it.
Yeah, that's very important. I forgot what site it was that used to do that kind of survey. It's like, see which candidate you support, and people would take the test all the time. And it's just, it says I'm a green, but I'm still voting Democrat. I'm like, you're so stupid. So anyway, I'm gonna move on. Sorry, I'm trying not to interject, but you guys are just saying so many things. Jean-Michel?
Yes, thank you. Jean-Michel Crevier, running for United States Congress, District 2 from Michigan. 2020 Crevier, pretty much on everything. I'd like to build on Brandon's point a little bit on our platform. You'd think with the platform that we have, that we should be winning elections without spending any money. I'm running against a climate change denier. I believe in climate change. I think we need a clear path towards a sustainable future. So 2020crevier.com. Please vote for me.
Great, love it. Short and sweet. Robin?
Hi, I'm Robin Leah Lorraine, and I'm going to ask you to vote for me, but I'm also going to ask you to check out all the green candidates in Michigan. I am so proud and so excited to be running with these 28 folks. And someone asked me, who is the person that was running the best campaign? Well, we all are, from Howie Hawkins down to our people who are running for township clerk. So vote your conscience, people. Don't vote your fears. I have this conversation with my kids, and they say, "Oh, Mom, we're going to vote for you, but we're not going to vote for the up ballot people because we're so afraid." And I say, "Hey, listen. When Obama was in office, how did your life change? When Trump was in office, in office. Did your life change much? No, it really didn't. But I can guarantee if Howie Hawkins is in office, your life would change. So check us out at www.michigan, greenparty.gov, .org. Vote for me. The things I want to do for Michigan State, I can't do with the kind of budget we have right now where all the money's going for military. I want to see the students be able to go to college for free. I want the new Green Deal brought to Michigan State University. I want campus safety. That means safety from racism. That means safety from COVID. That means safety from failure to thrive. Kids coming from the inner city, not being able to graduate. They get into school and they can't get out. They end up dropping out. So those are the things that I want to tackle. My first 90 days in office, transparency. Students at Michigan State aren't going to get molested anymore if I'm in there. I hear about it, I'll blow the lid off that stuff right away. There was research done and 40 people knew about what was going on at Michigan State. We need transparency at Michigan State. We need the Green Party in Michigan to become a major political party so that we can make some changes in the state. So again, I'm going to reiterate, please vote your conscience, not your fears. And with that, over.
Great, thank you so much for that. And to close out everything, we're going to go back to Nick Rowley, please.
Yeah, hello, Nick Rowley. I'm running for the County Commission in the 18th District of Oakland County. As Robin and Destiny have both said, obviously go to our main website, migreenparty.org. Check out all of the candidates. We have a simply vast slate of candidates. Personally, one of the actual environmental issues is most important to me is water security, water safety, clean water. For a state that has the longest coastline of any in the United States, we have simply abysmal water standards. We really need to improve those. People know a lot about Flint, but the actual unspoken horror of Michigan water is that Flint is only the most extreme example. So many municipalities in Michigan, including in Oakland County, have got water quality levels which are just terrifying. Beyond that, I'm very much of the opinion that defunding the police is only a start. I am very much in favor of replacing the police in general. They haven't even been around for 200 years. They weren't very popular when they were introduced, and there hasn't been a great record for the whole existence of police as a general institution. We can do a lot better. Certainly we can help the people out more, and the people includes everyone, and that's why Black Lives Matter. And we need to show that in how we do policy. So that's another thing that's important to me as someone who's running for a position where I may actually be able to influence some of the spending there for the county. So yeah, that's two of the things that are important to me. But like I say, go to migreenparty.org, check out everyone, including Robin and Destiny and Jean-Michel and a whole bunch of others, and give what you can. My personal presence on the web is actually just come to my Facebook campaign page. That's probably the best place to find me, where I also post things. And that's just Nick Rowley for Oakland County Commission.
Great. Well, great. Thank you so much, everyone. We're right at 10 o'clock, which is amazing for a candidate forum. But of course, since you're all Greens, that's why it ran on time. So once again, thank you so much for participating in this. This is the first of hopefully many I can do this this month to help you guys all get exposure. As I said before, what I'm going to try to do is create individual edits for each of you, so you could share around if you want, and you know, with links to your sites and all that kind of stuff. So for now, say goodnight to everybody, and good luck with all of your campaigns.
Good night.
Thanks, James.
Thank you, James. Appreciate it.
Thanks, James.
Thanks.
Bye. Thank you, James.